What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, and on this video I tackled a question that I've been asked time and time again, and that is, what kind of budget do I need if I want an FBA wholesale store? And today I'm going to tell you exactly what that should be, particularly if you're doing this on your own. So I'm super fired up, and I've got a doodle here in the house that is super fired up. She's running around like a maniac back and forth. She's clearly fired up. Let's go and do this. Alright, guys and girls, other than the fact that I have a bad doodle and you might hear some crazy noise going on in the background, I apologize in advance, but let's just jump into the slideshow, which I've, interestingly enough, prepared. This is something that I don't usually do, but it's important that I show you these costs, and instead of just spewing them out, it'd be best to show them to you in a video format so you can kind of look back at this and understand what these costs are going to include. So we are specifically talking the do-it-yourself method. Keep in mind there is the FBA Wholesale automation method, which I do offer, and my email is below if you want to jump on the phone and discuss that, or even discuss the do-it-yourself version. And there is easier ways to do this than to do a full-on wholesale model. So that's specifically what I'm talking about right here. You want to get your feet wet. You want to get some sales. Most importantly, you want to gain that confidence that helps you propel forward and be able to make this store a huge success. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's talk about this FBA wholesale budget. How much is this going to cost us? That is the magic question. That is what we always want to know. And that is what most people ask. So let's go ahead and jump into that. What do we need to start this endeavor up? Well, first and foremost, we're going to need a certain set of tools, whether we're the ones using it or we get a VA. That's a decision that we have to make later, but we are going to need a certain set of tools, which includes Inventory Lab. Now, typically, when I do show a video of how much each of the stores that I'm managing makes, that Inventory Lab does pop up. It's what we use to manage not only the input of our inventory so we can figure out our costs of goods, but it also helps us prepare the shipments and make it a lot easier for us to send those shipments into Amazon. So it plugs into the back end on your Amazon. It connects together and it tells Amazon what we have that's being shipped over to them. And it creates what's called a shipping plan, which you'll learn about if you are going to sell on Amazon. A shipping plan is pretty much what you are going to send to Amazon, and it's a way of them telling you, hey, you got to send this product to this warehouse and this other product to that other warehouse. So Inventory Lab does all that for us, and it keeps together all our costs of goods sold, which is an important number that we're always going to need for accounting purposes. The second thing is Keepa. Now, I also did a video last week on Keepa, and the thing that we use Keepa for is being able to analyze a product and how well it's been working in the past. Now, we can shoot back as far as a year, all time, and 3 months, but I typically like to look at how well a product has done within the past year to make an assessment as to if I'm going to purchase the product to try and sell myself, and or to get an idea for what the price has been, how many sellers, and a number of different pieces of information that are important if we are going to want to sell that product. So Keepa is a mandatory expense. You must have Keepa. Inventory Lab, it's optional, but I do highly recommend it because, as I said before, it helps you make calculations, particularly for accounting. So I also recommend that. Then there is Rev Seller, which is another one of those optional things, but I feel that Rev Seller has a lot of little nice extras, like the ability to calculate what your profit would be on the fly. It also tells you what each product is in terms of the top 5, 10, 15% in all Amazon. So it makes it real easy if you're targeting maybe just top 5% products. So you don't really have to go and take a look at how many units they'd sell on a BSR. It wouldn't require you to need anything like Jungle Scout and Base or anything like that to check the total amount of units sold in a single month, and that's primarily because it just tells you the percentile and how well a product sells overall in comparison to all the rest of the products in its particular category. And I know that was like a mouthful, but just understand you can either have Rev Seller under Jungle Scout or Base or something like that. It basically will give you information as to how many units of any one given product sell a month, which is invaluable for you to be able to determine what's called your sales equity, which is like far beyond this whole video. And I know I'm sounding like a freaking nerd, like Liz, you're a freaking nerd. Next thing you're gonna do is pull out a lightsaber. I think I got one of those somewhere around here, but I'm not gonna pull it out. I'm just gonna freak you guys out. So let's go on to the next one. Enough being talked about. Then there is Tactical Arbitrage, which is completely optional, and I don't really recommend that to first start out, primarily because it is expensive. It's $109 a month, and it will help you find additional product opportunities like online arbitrage products and things of that nature, but you really don't need it. I just have it on there because it is an excellent tool once you start having a lot more cash flow to be able to spend. And if you want to have that cash flow to be able to spend, it's a tool that you can train your VAs to use. You can also use yourself. A lot of it is data intense, so it typically, after you enter the search, you'll just have to leave it there, sitting there for a while to run and to be able to find some of these product opportunities. And it might only scrape up a handful. So I recommend it once you start hitting a certain number and you need additional products because you have a lot of extra money to spend. So that doesn't usually happen right away, but it's just there in the future in case you might need it. The next thing is you'll need a virtual assistant unless you want to sit there for countless hours on your own doing monotonous and boring work. I highly recommend it. At some point, that should be your first hire, and that is a VA to either source the products and or help you prep, pack, and ship the products. That's entirely up to you. Clearly, if you're having one help you prep and pack the products, it's going to cost a lot more than $480 a month. This price right here is for a Filipino VA that is fully trained. It's a little high, but I like to have that there just in case we need extra cushion and or if we want them to work extra hours, or maybe we want a second one part-time. So virtual assistant, mandatory if you don't want to have to do a lot of boring shit. That's the bottom line. Then there is category end gating. You can either do it yourself. I usually teach people that are in either my personal coaching or one of my courses how to do it themselves. I don't even know if that's a word, but it's a lot easier than having to pay somebody else. Each ungating can cost the do-it-yourself method between $50 to $300, or the done-for-you $700 to $1,000. So as you can see, it can get quite pricey unless you know how to do it. So that's the good thing about hiring somebody like me to teach you how to do all this crap, right? Then there is the Amazon fee themselves. Amazon charges you $39.99 a month in order for the privilege of having one of their stores. So you got to pay them to have a store, but you're going to need to put that into your calculations. Pretty much you want to total this all up depending on what you feel you need. I kind of gave you some optional as well as mandatory costs. You can go to put that together and figure out what it is you're going to need to start. Now for the magical question, what do I need to buy these products, Liz? Because we're not drop shipping here. We don't have to pay after the fact. We have to pay before because we are physically buying inventory to ship into Amazon and allow them to send to our customers. Well, here's the numbers. Month 1 is merely a preparation stage. You've got to get the store opened up. You've got to get ungated. That will usually take about a month. And you also have to get the VA trained in order to help you, unless, like I said, you want to dive in there yourself and do all that boring ass shit. I certainly don't want to do that, but you guys might be different. Sometimes when you do get started, you do have to bootstrap the whole thing and do some work yourself. So you might have to pull up those sleeves and get down and dirty. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's part of the game. We all got to do it as entrepreneurs. Sometimes we just got to get down and dirty, people. It is what it is. Month 2, however, you will need approximately between $1,500 to $3,000 to buy products. Again, take it slow with this, particularly if it's a brand new store. You don't want to come out of the gate just guns blazing and buy $10,000 to $100,000 worth of goods. Amazon won't allow you to send that. You're at a 1,000 unit limit. So when you first start a store, you can only send 1,000 units in maximum. And even then, they don't like you to send that much. So you've got between $1,500 to $3,000 to want to spend in order to send that inventory in. For month 3, it's going to be about the same. You want some slow growth. So $1,500 to $3,000. And then on month 4, you can start putting the pedal to the metal. You can fire out between $4,000 to $6,000. And from there, it's pretty much whatever you want to do. You can start hitting 10,000 in month 5 and then 20,000 in month 6 and so forth. After that, your store should be aged enough. It should have some seller ratings on there. It should have some sales. Amazon should be able to see that you're sending in legit products. They're selling well, especially if you're handling your customer service and everything is going really well. From that point forward, you'll be able to spend whatever it is that you want to spend. You'll also see that your inventory levels will rise. You'll start at 1,000. They'll eventually let you send 3,000 in. Then it'll go up to 5,000 and it'll just start to climb, particularly if you sell through really fast. So make it a priority to pick products that are going to turn over very quickly. Don't sit on products for too long. On top of having to pay storage fees, they're also going to grade you on that. So you want to make sure that you move them fast. If they're not selling, sell them at a loss. Just get rid of them. Put that other capital into products that will sell, and eventually you get back your money. It's pretty simple. Everything sells on Amazon. And the biggest advice that I can give to you is just do it. Just get started. You will see your very very first sale is going to build such a great amount of confidence in you. You will only regret that you didn't start sooner. So again, questions and comments, you can post them below. I always personally answer them, and my email is below in case you want to talk about either a full automation store and or a done with you store or a do-it-yourself store. You let me know. It's below. And I didn't mean that to rhyme, but it did. I will see you guys in the next video.